Let's try again. If you can hear me in the jail, we're going to literally just run straight down the pages to make it easy for you. Hopefully my microphone's working.
I can hear you, Judge.
Okay, thank you, Brett.
You're welcome. FYI, Kenneth and his team yesterday won national championship for mock trial for St. Mary's.
Very cool. Tell him
Yeah.
congratulations.
I will let him know.
Judge, could you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, give us just a second. We'll double checking our inmates that are positive, just so we can keep everybody separated.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Hang on just a second.
Well, no, it's
Yes. It does. It stays in for a long time.
Make sure we have it all together. It's gonna be the same ruling on both, but that's all. Don't worry about the file. Oh, that'll work. All right, let's see if we can get going. Can I have Candace Carrington's files, please? No. Thank you. Can't do anything with him. He's in the state hospital. Yeah. Let me let Ellison out. Ready, Paul? Court will call cause number B21 583, 584, and 698, the state of Texas versus Candace Carrington. Let's start out with 698 for purposes of arraignment. Let's say the parties.
Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah, I don't know that Jesus is there anymore.
Your Honor, if I may, I believe this case got transferred to Brett Ferguson, the attorney. As far as I know, I was already told by one of our legal assistants.
Oh, let me look and see.
Your Honor, that actually, now that he says that, does sound familiar. It seems like I got something last week, but I have done nothing on this. I apologize.
Okay, yeah, it looks like you got appointed on the 10th.
So I will, with court's permission, I will go and see her tomorrow, and we will go over the indictments, and then I'll file a waiver of arraignment.
I'm trying to contain an outbreak here, and you're driving the monkey to the airport.
Brett, was that you?
That was me. That's my wife texting. I forgot to turn my phone down here.
Well, feel free to leave it on. That was fairly entertaining.
Yeah, she was a little paranoid. Well, she still is a little paranoid about the pandemic. So that's where that came from. It's King of the Hill.
Okay. Ms. Carrington,
Uh,
we're going to reset your cases for the next arraignment pretrial date. Look for Mr. Ferguson to contact you shortly, and he'll go through all 3 of your cases with you, okay?
okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, do we have a date?
28th
The 28th?
February.
Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is the captain.
I'm going to put the scheduling order in the file, but not sign it yet. And as soon as the waiver hits, then, yeah.
Steven, I'll take care of this one.
Okay. Hang on, let me figure out how to move all this. Well, I'm not out of reach. No, it's okay. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. That way that's better. Okay. Do you have paperwork on Ms. Hatcher? Okay, let me just call it and see. Court will call cause number B20-18, the state of Texas versus Catherine Hatcher. For purposes of a motion to proceed, what say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor. We've come to a semi-agreement with the state. We'd like to have her plead true and order a PSI and do sentencing on February 23rd.
The only problem with that is I don't have any documents.
I haven't received documents yet. I was going to see if we could put her on the 4th, so I have time to go over documents with her, and we can do the plead true on the 4th, schedules pre-sentence investigation, and sentence on the 23rd.
State?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we will reset you for February 4th at 8 a.m., ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll send that, I'll get the paperwork ready and to you, Courtney, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Who has Bonner? Can you hear me in the jail? I missed him. Keep it'll be next. If Bonner's been transferred, we can't do it anymore.
You can pull it down. He may be able to hear you better than us.
Are you Miss Bonner?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, your cases have been transferred to the 216th District Court. So you'll be on their docket the next time they come up. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Kiwi, it'll be next.
Okay.
Brett, do you represent Ms. Kiewit?
I do, Your Honor, and I'm gonna request that I go see her tomorrow and go over her indictments. I haven't even seen the indictments myself. But I need to get those and go over them with her, and then I'll file waivers of arraignment with the court's permission.
I don't think they are. Well, they're one and two, right? One and two.
Hello.
Hi. Court will call cause number B21-459 and 602, the state of Texas versus Saren Kiewit. For purposes of, it looks like arraignments, what say the parties?
State's ready.
The defense is not ready, Your Honor. Defense has not had an opportunity I have not had an opportunity to go over the indictments with Ms. Kiewit. I plan on going out and seeing her first thing tomorrow morning and going over those to ensure all of the identifying information is correct and that she understands the allegations that are within the indictments. And with court's permission, I will go do that first thing tomorrow morning and then file waivers of arraignment.
Okay, if you do that, then we'll enter scheduling orders just in case something you're not able to do that, then let's put her on the February 28th docket and we can pull it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Waivers. All right, thank you, Ms. Kiewit. Your attorney will be out to see you shortly. It'll be Mr. Ferguson on both your cases, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Paul, take yours out real quick. I'm gonna move you. Okay. Are you Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you. Court will call cause number B21-117 and B21-445, the state of Texas versus Juliana Reyes. Reyes, have you heard from Mr. Jimenez?
Just said he wanted to withdraw.
He didn't say anything about being present at court today? Okay. Ms. Reyes, do you have any objection to Mr. Jimenez withdrawing?
No.
He called the clerk's office and said he wanted to come meet with you to get your signature, but that's just going to delay you for another 30 days if we do that. If you don't have any objection, I'll go ahead and sign his motions to withdraw.
Yes, please.
Okay. If I sign his motions to withdraw, at that point, you're no longer represented by counsel. Do you have the resources to hire your own attorney?
No.
Okay. Do you have any resources at all?
No.
If you would, fill out an application for court-appointed counsel. As soon as I receive that, I'll appoint the public defender's office. And then when they receive their appointment, somebody will be out to see you, okay?
Okay. Judge, you don't have an application on file for her because she has submitted several.
Let me look and see. What I'm showing up is the motion to withdraw, but let me look.
Your Honor, if it helps, the PDO's office was previously appointed to Ms. Reyes, and we resolved her cases back in December, so that one should at least still be on file in her previous cases.
Now, I have one in here that shows it's incomplete, but what I'm going to do is take the one that I have in the file that's incomplete and go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you, Ms. Reyes, and then somebody will be out to see you, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. This looks like it is filed in the B21-117. That's because I think it's in there, his improperly filed motion to withdraw. What happened to it? Good afternoon, Ms. Nolan.
Afternoon.
Court will call cause number B21-243, the state of Texas versus Rihanna Nolan, for purposes of a motion to proceed with the parties.
Judge, I don't think the parties are ready. I'm not aware of there being any plea negotiations or offers made at this point. And so if I'm right on that, I would think we would want to reset it for a contested setting down the road where it could hopefully be resolved without a hearing.
Your Honor, the Public Defender's Office filed a motion to withdraw in this case. We have a conflict with one of the witnesses involved with the MTP, so we would just re-urge that motion to withdraw.
You have that? When did you file it?
Let me look that up really quickly.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Well, it may be a mistake in there.
Your Honor, it looks like it was filed January 4th of this year.
Yeah, does it have a file stamp on it by any chance?
Yes, it does.
Can you tell me who signed it in?
Yes. Rosalie Castro.
Make a note here. Mr. Perrin, are you still taking appointments in Kerr County?
Oh, hey, Judge, how are you, sir?
Good, and you?
Doing all right. What kind of case is it?
Motion to proceed on a possession case.
I'll take that. That's fine if you need somebody.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and appoint you to Miss Rihanna Nolan.
Okay, let me write that down.
Clause number B21-243.
Her first name is Brianna.
Rihanna, RHEANNA.
Okay, well then I will make a point to go visit her whenever I do Mr. Ellis's paperwork the next couple of days.
Perfect. And what we will do is reset this for February 23rd.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, to me, if
Your Honor.
you separated it and made the H a
There you go.
You're gonna go back. Take her out.
I'm looking at Brant. Let's get an indictment in this one. That's a weird deal. Pre-trial. Mr. Ferguson, while they're bringing out Mr. Brandt in B21-697, has he been arraigned?
Let me look. $697?
Yeah, B21-697. The clerk doesn't show any record, and I'm not showing any record, but it looks like all
I'm
the
not
others
either.
are pre-trials. Okay.
Yeah, I don't show that he was
Yeah.
on my file anyway, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, they shouldn't pull him out. Hopefully somebody told the jail that. Good afternoon, Mr. Brandt.
How's it going?
Good. Court will call calls number B19-807, 808, and then B21-288, 619, and 620. For purposes of pretrial on those five, what say the parties?
State's ready.
This is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues in any of those five cases?
None from the state.
None from the defense at this time, Your Honor.
Do we have our lab results?
My
I
guess,
got this right here. We have on 19-807 and 808, we do have labs back on those case. But in the 21-288, 21-619, 21-620, and B21-697, we don't have labs back. The most recent case is the most severe case. The man delivered PG1 4 to 200 grams in the drug-free zone.
Mr. Ferguson, do you have anything we need to do in any of those five cases?
The only thing is that I don't show an arraignment in B21-697. I
Yeah,
don't know if you want to.
that's up next.
Oh, okay,
Have
you
you-
haven't called it yet. Sorry about that.
That's okay. B21-697, have you had an opportunity to go through the indictment with your client?
I have not, Your Honor. I haven't seen the indictment until just now myself. So I will go out and I will talk to him if the court would like tomorrow. And then I'll file a waiver of arraignment on it.
Okay. Mr. Brandt, the court is going to reset all of your cases for February 28th. And we will see you back then, okay?
So my lawyer is gonna come see me because he hasn't seen me since October. I've been in here since September 28th and haven't seen my lawyer since October at all. He hasn't talked to me about my cases. He hasn't came to visit me about anything.
Kevin, I'll be coming to see-
Mr. Ferguson said he'd be out there tomorrow. Why don't you address those issues at that time, and then you can decide where to go from there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe on your next one on Shady Baker, they may have
Actually,
called-
Kinzel should be next.
Yes, sir, the one after that, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ms. Foraker apparently was called as a witness. She is on Zoom underneath 2115. If you're able to see her at your side.
Okay. Yeah, I have, looks like 6 different people on Zoom that are not on the docket, so. But 2115 is Sylvia.
Sylvia, yes, sir.
Okay.
Here's
Thank
Mr. Kinzel.
Mr. Kinzel, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Court will call calls number B20 543, 544, 545, and 546. State of Texas versus Joshua Kinzel. And looks like we need to clarify whether it's Mr. Ellison or Mr. Ferguson.
Your Honor, I think it's gonna be me. I think Mr. Ellison had withdrawn. And then I was appointed on like one of them, and then just recently, I think you filed the others, right? Isn't that correct, Mr. Ellison?
I think that's right. And yes, I do want to withdraw on all 4.
Okay. All right, we'll make it clear for purposes of the record that Mr. Ferguson is going to represent you on each of your cases. So Mr. Ellison, you will be discharged from his, and if you'd be kind enough to please forward whatever you have in your files that will assist Mr. Ferguson. Appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do it. Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank
Ferguson,
you.
for purposes of pretrial, do we have any issues on any of these 4?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Obviously, the 3 that I don't have any information on, I'll get that information from Mr. Ellison and speak with Mr. Kinzel about all of these matters, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Does the state have any issues?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's reset all 4 for February 28th and see if we can come up to speed by then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we doing Mr. Baker next, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baker.
How are you, Judge?
Good. Do we have both cases set today or just one?
I think, I'm not sure. I know there's one.
Mr. Calvan?
He would want to hear something about the bond too.
What I see on the docket is B21 586. I would offer that, you know, for purposes of the writ of habeas corpus, that both cause numbers be considered. And then I have one minor issue that I wanted to bring up for pretrial, but I'll wait for the court to make the announcement.
Okay. The other cause number is B21 759, is that correct?
I believe so, Judge.
Court will call cause number B21 586 and B21 759, State of Texas versus Shady Baker. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defendant's ready, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have any pretrial issues on either one of those cases? State?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
Sorry.
Your
Go ahead.
Honor, no pretrial issues. Do have some issues with the application, writ of habeas corpus and exhibits that I would like to put on the record for objections, but prior to them being admitted, but nothing pre-trial. So right now.
Okay. Strictly for purposes of pretrial, Mr. Galvan, do you have anything other than the writ?
Yes, sir. Just quickly on B-21-586, I'd asked for the labs on that. And I believe the state didn't have them. I wanted to know if the state did have them. I am concerned because it looked like the only time this amount, which is 4.09, came out in the offense report. It was sitting on a scale, which, I know nothing about the scale, but it measured 4.09 grams. He's being charged for over 4 grams. So I think that possibly that indictment was a little premature, but regardless, we need to take a look at the labs. So I'd ask the court to see what the status is on that.
We don't have the labs back yet, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Galvan, you've got about 15 minutes for your writ.
Yes, sir. Regarding that application for writ of habeas corpus, Judge, we have exhibits 1 and 2 attached. We also had an affidavit from Mr. Baker's daughter. I think the exhibits regarding his medical history, the attempts to get a vaccine booster are the most relevant for this morning's hearing. I'd ask those to be admitted, into evidence.
And Your Honor, I would object to Exhibit 1. Ms. Baker is not competent to testify in regards to her father's medical history. She hasn't been proven up as treating physician or any type of an expert. And all these conclusory statements about she's also not an epidemiologist. And all these conclusory statements about his health and how COVID may or may not affect it. I think she's not competent to testify to that. And I would object to any testimony about his medical history unless there is a treating physician or some other type of evidence to support that testimony.
May I speak, Your Honor?
You may.
It's a writ hearing regarding bond. I believe it's under 1.04 that Texas rules of evidence other than that particular rule aren't applicable. So all of this comes in, her testimony comes in. State can bring in hearsay also if they want on these types of hearings, unless the hearing is for purposes of increasing bond, denying bond. Rules of evidence don't apply. So that's my take. So I believe none of those objections apply.
Are you wanting to call Ms. Baker?
Excuse
Yes,
me?
she's in a waiting room, and Your Honor, I'm just going to have her. I think she's closer to the bone on this, but I'm going to have her go through his medical history, which I think is the most relevant portion of this writ for the court to consider, just because we're looking at risk factors associated with COVID and also in consideration of this, if you want to call it a new surge. I hate using that word because I'm sick of it, but it is existing. I was in your court just a couple of weeks ago when you announced that 39% of the individuals tested in Kerr County on the week prior were 34% tested positive. I can tell you the same number out of Uvalde County last week was 39%. So obviously it's on the rise. We have new variations that, good chance that these boosters or the initial vaccines, they aren't necessarily effective against them. But I think regardless of boosters or vaccines, given Mr. Baker's health, given his age, all of his health issues are high risk for severe under the CDC standards. They are all high risk for death or permanent bodily, permanent injury. But if I could call Ms. Baker and let her, she can much more intelligently speak on those issues.
In Your Honor, if he gets a brief opening, if I may, just very briefly for the court.
You may.
Again, I renew my objection to her testifying to things she's not competent to testify about. And this is kind of, we've been here before. The court denied his motion for bond. I can't remember I'd say about a month, maybe 2 months ago. And then Sylvia Foraker, we plan to have her testify to tell the efforts that the jail has been doing to be able to get not only Mr. Baker, but everybody in the jail vaccinated. And we believe that her efforts were successful, and that this writ is moot because of that.
Thank you. Ms. Baker, will you please raise your right hand? In the matter before the court, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Can you please give your full name to the court reporter?
Cassie Baker.
Thank you. May proceed.
Yes, Ms. Baker, I think you heard what I said earlier. I think you're the most qualified to get into your father's medical history, and I know you've done your research. We've talked. And would you please explain, go through the list and then and discuss each one in terms of, why they are a risk factor or create high risk for your dad for possibly death, certainly impairment. And then there was a question about I believe that was the epidemiologist that we spoke of earlier. And if you can, you might want to be able to identify them and discuss with them what they told you, discuss with the court. So I'm going to leave you with that.
So my just main concerns right now are the high risk health issues that my dad has, that the CDC has said are high risk, mainly the top ones being that obesity and his high blood pressure that, from my understanding, still has not been controlled since he's been incarcerated. It's increased. There have been days where he's missed getting his blood pressure medicine due to staff being out of the jail. So I'm not feeling super confident that it's even being managed, and even managed, it still creates a high risk for a poor outcome or even death from COVID. Additionally, he has in the past had treatments for hepatitis C that were similar to chemotherapy, which can impact all of your vital organs and potentially make him more at risk, not to mention the liver damage that he had already had as a result of that illness. And as of right now, I understand that now the jail does have vaccines. However, he still has not been vaccinated. And even then, like Mr. Galvin had stated, it's not a guarantee that he won't need additional treatment outside of the jail, that he won't need hospitalization, or that it wouldn't result in his death even at this point. And those are my concerns. I did speak with an epidemiologist at DSHS when I was attempting to get some vaccines over to the jail, and she also had serious concerns about it based on the health risks that I identified to you all, are the same ones that I identified to her, that there was a high risk outcome, particularly if his health conditions also are not managed while he's incarcerated.
May I ask a question, Your Honor? Can you identify the epidemiologist that you were speaking of? Is she allowable?
I mean, I haven't talked to her or asked if I could identify her in the courtroom. Her name is Dr. Omari.
Mm-hmm. And then, Cassie, how are you employed?
I work for the state of Texas, the Health and Human Services Commission.
Say that again.
I work for the state of Texas at the Health and Human Services Commission.
Yes, ma'am. And all of these issues that we're bringing up in this writ application, I mean, are they issues that you are familiar with outside of your concern for your father's issues here? I mean, are these things that are spoken of in the context of your employment?
Yes, there's a lot of conversation around COVID at the Health and Human Services Commission right now.
I would think
so. My role directly doesn't relates to the purchasing for COVID. It's still we probably get an email every day related to COVID and the risks and concerns, and we are not working in the office right now at all. So.
Yes, ma'am. And then have you spoken to any other agencies with the state regarding risk of individuals incarcerated vis-a-vis?
Dr. Omari works for the Department of State and Health Services, which is an agency under the Health and Human Services Commission. She's the epidemiologist on call for Region 8, which is where Kerr County is.
Yes, ma'am. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
May I, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Baker, I'm correct in remembering you testified last time on your father's bond hearing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in that bond hearing, my boss, Mr. Harpole, he went over with you your father's criminal history, correct?
That's correct.
And it went over all the arrests that your father's had in the past. Yes?
Correct.
And then also all the convictions he had in the past, correct?
Yes.
And then in that hearing, you testified that, yes, you believe that your father has a very serious meth problem, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so now, being out in the free world, he would have potentially access to methamphetamines. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you discuss with Dr. Omari the potential damage that could happen to somebody either injecting or inhaling meth and having all these different comorbidities? Did you talk about that?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yes, I did mention to her that my dad has a history of meth use. Yes.
Okay, so she says that it'd be better for him to be out using meth than being in jail.
I'm
That's not
going
the
to object to
conversation.
that. I'm going to object to that. There's no, states make those statements, but they're not really relevant to this particular hearing. We're talking about the risks associated with the COVID.
That was a question, Mr. Galvan.
Yes, sir.
That's fine. I'll answer it. No, we did not have that exact conversation of which was the better alternative. No.
Okay. And then Dr. Omari, is she here to testify today?
No, she is not.
Why not?
Because I did not ask her to, nor did I tell her that I had this upcoming court hearing.
Do you think that might have been helpful for the court to hear some testimony from her instead of hearing what she's told you?
I did call and leave her a voice message, but I was not able to hear back from her in time for this hearing.
Okay. Now, your father also, let's go back to his criminal history. He had just recently been released from about a year pen trip. Isn't that correct?
Well, I wouldn't say it depends on your definition of recently. It's been a couple of years.
Well, what's your definition?
Well, I would think within the last year. It hasn't been within the last year.
Okay.
I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay. Now, because I'm asking that question because you said that, there was other concerns about his blood pressure medicine and other kinds of things, right?
Yes.
Those are all concerns that you had when he was in the pen?
Yes, but in the pen, there was no COVID outbreak and he was having his treatment. He was being treated for those.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Galvan,
No further questions, Your Honor.
additional witnesses?
We have no further witnesses.
Thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you.
State witnesses?
The state would call Jail Administrator Sylvia Foraker, please.
There she is.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Can you please raise your right hand? In the matter before the court, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Can you please give your full name to the court reporter?
Sylvia Foraker.
Thank you. Mr. Rosenbach?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Foraker, how are you employed?
I am the jail administrator of the Kerr County Jail.
And what are some of your duties as the jail administrator?
Care, custody, and control of inmates.
Would that also include duties regarding the inmate's health?
Yes.
Specifically, have you had any workings or any experience with coordinating the administration of COVID vaccines in the jail?
I have, in fact, we've got one set up for this Friday, February 4th.
Okay, can you just kind of give us a little bit of detail about the process of obtaining those vaccines and the maybe some of the hurdles or roadblocks that you ran into obtaining those vaccines and scheduling it for February the 4th?
Yes, this will be our second time that we have been able to get the vaccines at the jail. I have gotten with the emergency management, Dub Thomas, and he was able to get it set up and scheduled for the 4th at, I think it's going to be in the afternoon, for anybody that wants the vaccine, it's going to be available for them.
So has it been, let's just like back up a month ago for the new vaccine, is it just a phone call away and you're going to be able to get it immediately?
No, it wasn't that easy. We just got to prepare and plan and hope that it's available. And Doug Thomas was able to get it cleared for us to have them.
Well, that's great to hear. Has, to your knowledge, has Mr. Baker signed up to receive the vaccine?
Yes, he has.
And is there anything holding the jail back from administering the requested vaccine to Mr. Baker on February the 4th?
Oh, no, I have 54 signed up for the vaccine, and if they're still wanting it on that day, they will get it. And anybody extra that might want it.
And just briefly, Ms. Foraker, if you could just kind of explain to the judge, we're hearing a lot about how out of control the COVID outbreak is in the jail, but can you just give us your firsthand knowledge about what's been going on and just give a clearer picture to the court of how you're handling things and keeping people safe?
Your Honor, we, at this time, this is the second round of COVID that I have had in the jail. And we were successful the first time to get it all out. This new variant that has come out, we started getting COVID, which I had 43 inmates that had tested positive from the 12th till today. I can say that as of today, we only have 3 positive inmates with COVID that we're waiting to be cleared.
Thank you very much, Ms. Foraker. I pass the witness.
Mr. Riker, how are you this morning? This afternoon.
How are you?
And I sent you a letter letting you know that I support the jail and all of your efforts to deal with this COVID outbreak and my confidence in your ability to do so. Did I not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We've known each other a long time.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Foraker, we had a prior outbreak. I mean, one that I knew about because I actually caught it from my client in the jury room. That was Mr. Wesh. But what were those dates when you had that prior outbreak and he caught it and it was the word we got, it was sweeping through the jail? I mean, can you tell us something about that? When that was?
You're talking about the first time we got it?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what else you want me to say. Is we got it and we controlled it, and I was able to cease visitation through approval from the state. I have to go through the state with everything. I can't just take things into my own hands.
Yes, ma'am.
Report to them about the status, which I did today with this variance we got now, and I have this week put a visitation back on the list to do, and our volunteers to be able to come back in.
Yes, ma'am. How many inmates actually came out positive in that last outbreak ultimately?
Okay, I can't, I'm not aware of that right now. I don't have the last one. I don't have any information on in front of me, so I can't tell you that.
More than three or four?
Oh, yes.
More than 10?
Yes.
Okay. And, but you did know about the COVID issue at that time, but you were unable to stop that particular, those infections at that time, not through any problem with your efforts, but just the fact that the nature of the beast, nature of the disease. Is that correct?
Well, it came in, and I can say from the very beginning, before, when it very first started, I was able to keep it out of the jail for quite a long time, and until that very first one hit. So we isolate, quarantine, they're monitored, they got masks, sanitation is done. We do everything in our power to try to keep it down. Yes, we've gotten it, but we have it controlled.
Yes, ma'am. But is it fair to say that it's not something you can guarantee that it's not going to come back into the jail in high numbers again?
Of course not, but I can tell you that I will work very hard at making sure we continue doing what we do.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I think for a jail, we're very successful in getting to this point.
Yes, ma'am. I do too. And you mentioned a number just a bit ago. We were saying as of today, you had 3 positive tests, but prior to that, you had how many? 43 positive tests?
43. And they've all cleared, and we didn't have any complications that didn't need anything than the normal doctor's orders and protocols followed.
Yes, ma'am. And then you were speaking about the availability of the vaccines. You said that, I mean, you've only been able to get it twice. I mean, so
there was only a need for you know, we try to take care of things as they come. And so I reached out to try to get this vaccine, and like I said, we were successful in being able to get it scheduled to have.
Yes, ma'am. But all that said, none of us, including no matter how hard we work in close spaces like a jail, we can't guarantee that somebody's not going to get it, and if they do and they have high risk issues, that they're not going to die. I mean, is that fair to say?
Well, I don't know, because it's the same thing on the outside, sir. I don't think with this COVID, I don't think it makes a difference whether we're in jail or out of jail.
Yes, ma'am.
The chances are there for anybody.
Well, I agree with you on that when I heard the high number of positive tests. So that, and that's how it seems to be on the outside, but it's just something that it's in the hands of God. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
That if Mr. Baker gets the COVID and dies, it's in the hands of God. Is that fair to say?
I would hope that didn't happen, but like I said, we're working very hard on
Yes, ma'am.
doing our best.
I'm completely respectful of all your efforts. And running that jail forever. That's all my questions, Your Honor.
Any additional direct?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional witnesses?
No, sir, not from the defense.
State?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Sylvia. Appreciate the job you do.
Thank you, Judge.
Court's going to deny the writ of habeas at this time. The next hearing will be February 28th.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. May
You're welcome.
I be excused, and may Ms. Baker be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for this late minute hearing.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. No, I really appreciate that. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ben.
Judge, this is Oliver Neal.
Yes, sir.
I have to leave in about 10 minutes. Would it be okay if Sarah stood in for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sure. There you go. Thank you. Before they bring out Mr. Guerrero, have y'all talked about an agreed reset date for a contested hearing?
We're still waiting on some documents from the state.
If that has been discussed with Ben, I'll make sure that we get it to you. I'm just not aware of that. So Judge, to that extent, I would just recommend then that we just reset it for a special contested setting on February 23rd, if that's okay with you, Courtney.
That worked with me. I followed up with Ben last week, so just waiting on that.
Okay.
Mr. Guerrero, did you hear that conversation?
No, sir.
There's still some discovery that's pending from the state to your attorney. And so
Oh, is
what
this
we're doing,
Guerrero or Carrero?
Carrillo.
Oh, I apologize, Your Honor. I thought you said Guerrero and you said Carrillo.
Guerrero,
Okay, yeah, that's Mr. Carrillo.
okay. I have him crossed off as being reset for February 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, I think that was kind of last minute, Judge, and it probably just didn't make it over to the jail.
All right, Mr. Carrillo, we'll see you back Friday.
Friday?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Been one of those days. Like Friday the 13th on a full moon. Getting tired of boiling water on the stove, aren't you? What's wrong with it? Is it full of sediment at the bottom? It has two elements. Are both elements working? Okay. Gotcha. Hang on. Court will call cause number B19 236 and 237, the state of Texas versus Alejandro Guerrero. For purposes of a motion to proceed, what say the parties?
Judge, I don't believe well, at least the state is not ready at this time. We've got some outstanding discovery. It's my understanding that we're to supply to the defendant and hope to get that to him very shortly. We're asking that the case be reset to February 23rd.
That's
Any
correct,
objection?
Your Honor. No objections, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will reset the case to February 23rd. Mr. Guerrero, we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Thank you. Yeah. What it says on there. We need an order. Good afternoon, Mr. Lubrano. Court will call cause number B21-227 and B21-534, the state of Texas versus William Lubrano. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Your Honor, the defense, Miguel Serrano, public defenders, we requested a mental evaluation for him. So I'm not so sure how long it's gonna take for the appointment with the psychiatrist and then for the results to come back, Your Honor. If we can maybe come back within a month for a status and see if he got interviewed by the psychiatrist.
When did you file your motion?
I believe, and I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm kind of new to the system, so. Okay.
I don't have anything in the file, but I'm sure it's waiting to be scanned.
Yes, sir.
Well, and if even if there is the motion's been filed, Miguel, we can sign an agreed order and get that to the judge quickly if that'll expedite things.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, if you'll send your order over to Mr. Harpold, or if you don't have a form, he can send you a form and you can complete it. And then we will, what I'll do is send it to Dr. Woods because he seems to be a lot faster than the others.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do that. I'll get in contact with Mr. Harpold.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And let's do this. Let's reset it for April 4th because I know it's going to take him at least 30 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lebrano, we'll see you back in a little bit. You're going to be contacted by Dr. Woods. Please cooperate with him so that he can get an accurate assessment of you, okay?
Sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Paula. Our favorite person sent that over a minute ago. Uh-huh. Mr. McKee, how are you?
Good, sir.
Good. Court will call cause number B21-378 and 379, the state of Texas versus Gregory McKee. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
We're not quite ready. I'm just waiting on an answer from the district attorney's office. We had discussed a plea offer and Mr. Harpole needed to get some information for me. You probably should look at your notes, Mr. Harpole. It's been a while since we've talked.
I will take care of it and get right back to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
So you just want to reset for February 28th? Or
Yes.
what do you want to do?
Yes, resetting would be great. And if we can come to a resolution before then, that would be wonderful.
Okay. Judge, I will make the necessary contacts that I need to do, and we'll get right back with her, and hopefully we can resolve the case.
Perfect.
All right, Mr. McKee, we'll see you back no later than February 28th, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, Lucy.
Thank you. See y'all later.
Bye, Lucy.
Court will call cause number B21-553 and 554, the state of Texas versus Coleman Blevins. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is not quite ready, Your Honor, but I have been in contact with Mr. Harpold on this case regarding an updated plea offer, and pending whatever that offer is, then we would be ready on the next trial setting, Judge.
All right, let's do this. Let's set it for a 2801 hearing. on February 28th for both cases. And then if you reach a resolution sooner, we can address it at that time.
Yes, Your Honor, that's perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Blevins.
Hey, Garrett, while we're just sitting here real quick, I did speak with the DA out in West Texas, and he's fine with whatever we do. So anyway, I did get some stuff accomplished, and I'll be getting back with you shortly, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you very much, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, but not the one over here, the one in a private residence. Yeah. Court will call cause number B21-376, the state of Texas versus Ricky Colbert for purposes of pretrial. Let's say the parties.
State's ready.
State's ready.
We have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
None from the defendant judge, other than I'm not sure we have the labs yet.
I don't believe we have the labs back yet either.
No labs.
So a lot of this case depends on that. So.
All right, let's reset pretrial for April 4th. And if we receive the lab sooner, then we'll schedule it sooner.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you, Deborah. Court will call cause number B21-185, the state of Texas versus Rodolfo Castro for purposes of pretrial. Let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Your Honor, we can go to the next pretrial setting on February 28th. I just need to look at some, he has a conviction out of Burke County from the same offense, so I need to double check on that.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we will reset it for February 28th, and we'll see you back then. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Mr. Hines.
Evening.
Court will call cause number B21-233, the state of Texas versus George Hines for purposes of pretrial. Let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Mr. Ferguson.
Sorry, Your Honor, I missed that on my docket.
Are you ready for pretrial on Mr. Hines?
Your Honor, we'd filed a motion for an investigator, and I believe you signed that order, but I'm trying to find one. That's, I was given a name. can't remember his name now, but I tried to call him. When I talked to him, he had said that he was too busy right now, and I still haven't found another investigator. Any suggestions? I'm willing to listen.
Talk to your defense bar. They're the ones with all the connections.
Yes, Your Honor. That's the only thing I had. I've been trying to find an investigator.
Mr. Harpold?
Judge, I have nothing further. I would just ask for another reset.
Okay, let's reset it for February 28th. Mr. Hines, we'll see you back then. Thank you.
I need
Thank you, Your
my,
Honor.
I need my attorney to come and talk to me. I have some information I need to give him.
Okay, I'll come out. I'm coming out there tomorrow, George. So I'll
Thank you.
make a point to see you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome, George.
Paul, you doing okay? Court will call cause number B21-727, the state of Texas versus Miguel Cabrera. For purposes of arraignment, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Your Honor, I believe I have to arraign him. Miguel Serrano, public defenders. Please let me know when you want me to make the announcement.
Have you had an opportunity to go through the indictments with your client?
Your Honor, I haven't. I'm not sure if the court would like to put it on the screen and share with him, or if you want me to go and I can go visit him, Your Honor. That's fine.
Yeah, you need to go see him.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do that.
Okay, we're going to reset for arraignment for February 28th. We'll see you back then, Mr. Cabrera. Thank you.
February 28th.
Court will call cause number B21-455, the state of Texas versus Jesse Irvin. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
I believe we need to engage in some plea negotiations. I talked to Mr. Harpold this morning, and I have reviewed the indictment with the client, but I think that another pretrial will probably resolve this issue, Judge.
Yes, Judge, I agree. We conferred this morning with regard to some of the observations that Mr. Leal made in his review of the materials. And I'm just going to go over that and then get back with him, and hopefully we can reach a plea resolution.
All right, let's reset for February 28th and we'll talk about it again.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Court will call cause number B21-132, the state of Texas versus Matthew Iverson. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
We have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
None from the defense at this time. We're going to continue to negotiate.
It looks like we have one more pretrial on February 28th, and then at that point, we'll need to pick which route we're going to go down.
Yes, sir. And Matthew, I'll be there tomorrow to come see you in the morning.
Okay, what is this about right now?
It's whether or not we're going to go to trial or take some sort of an agreement. We need to talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next one says Ted, but it looks like the documents in the file say Garrett Cleveland.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Lucero is now my client.
Thank you. Court will call cause number B21-468, 469, and 470. The state of Texas versus Abel Lucero. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
Safe's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor, and I've got my legs underneath me in this case now, so we'll continue to confer with the 198th judge.
State have any pretrial issues?
None from the state at this time, Your Honor.
All right, our next scheduled pretrial is February 28th, so we'll see everybody back then. Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, while we're waiting, I got an email from Mr. Black on Mr. Geller saying that he doesn't have any issues pending and that he had a hearing in the 452nd, I believe, and was asking that somebody with the PDO's office step in for him. So, but we don't have any issues right now either.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let me call it. Let's put it on the record.
Okay.
Court will call cause number B19-640 and 641, and then B21-297, 298, and 299. The state of Texas versus Devin Geller. For purposes of a motion to proceed in pretrial, let's say the parties.
Judge, I think the parties aren't ready. I got an email from Mr. Black, the defendant's attorney, with regard to his status in the case, and he's got a conflict today. He had another hearing in another district. And so to that extent, we're not opposed to resetting the case to next month and then proceed forward with figuring out what to do next.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor. Mr. Black is in a sentencing hearing, and he said he would continue to be in contact with Mr. Harpold.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's reset all the cases for February 28th. And we will see you back then, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On page 4, where it has waivers filed on Rendon, Eagle House, and Schrader, will we
You
need
do
them?
not have to bring them out.
Okay, you answered
And
my
I think
question.
there's another one on, shoot, maybe the next page, page 6.
Okay. Thank
And
you,
that
Judge.
that will be Mr. Luttrell.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. You know if we have an interpreter?
I'm not aware of one, and I don't see, I didn't see anybody in the screen.
Well, I have 2 unidentified parties, 008283, whoever that is, and then Moto G Play.
I don't know.
Let's let them in one at a time and see what we have. Hopefully it won't be a disaster. That must have been Kurt Ruckin. That's okay. Let's see who Moto G Play is. Kurt, I'm sorry we kept you in the waiting room, but I didn't know who that unidentified number was.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was watching on YouTube, so I don't feel too left out.
And this is for Jordan Kerr, correct? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think we're at Sergio Lugo.
Oh, my bad.
Street.
My bad. That's right. Sorry.
We're going to be able to do anything anyway because we don't have an interpreter. Well, I don't know. They're not connecting. Yeah, right there. Court will call cause number B21-130, the state of Texas versus Sergio Lugo. And before we proceed any further, I need to determine, do we have an interpreter available?
Our office is not aware of if one was notified.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
I can translate if you want to. It's just going to be a quick announcement. I'm still working on this case.
Okay, is this going to be your case, Miguel?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me make a note here.
If you need help translating, I can translate for you as well. I can do Spanish. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, for purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
We're not ready, Your Honor. We're requesting another pretrial setting. I'm still talking to the DAs about this case.
Okay. Do you mind telling Mr. Lugo what we just discussed?
No.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lugo, soy yo, Miguel Serrano, su abogado. Ok. Vamos a regresar otra vez para otra cita. Todavía estoy trabajando este caso con el fiscal. Ok.
Está bien.
He said it's all right, Your Honor. It's okay.
All right. Does the state have any pretrial issues today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, let's reset this case for February 28th. Will you please tell Mr. Lugo that we're resetting him?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, he took off. Mr. Lugo, vamos a regresar a la corte en febrero 28 del 22.
Ok, está bien.
Thank you, Mr. Lugo. Do me a favor and message him. Ask what case he's here for. Fire alarm somewhere.
Yes, on top of everything else.
It's been one of those days.
Yes, Judge.
Court will call cause number B21-472, the state of Texas versus Demasio Sandoval Jr. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is not ready, Your Honor. I recently received new discovery in November. There was a new bullets that were found And I don't have the labs on those yet. I am missing some other lab reports. And I had conferred with one of the other gentlemen from the ADA's office about the aggravated assault because it wasn't called the second cause number, the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, about the victim in that case.
Hey, Priscilla, I was out of the office last week on vacation and I saw your email this morning. And I checked and I did not see the lab results back on the shell casing comparison, which I'm guessing since it was sent in November, it'll probably be just a little bit longer. And then in the meantime, I'll contact that victim and just go over what you said, just to follow that up, okay?
I would have called you sooner, but I was out the week before with COVID. So
Yeah, no worries. It's a COVID world, so we're all doing the best we can.
yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Any objection to resetting for February 28th, and then we can check our status there?
That would be great, Your Honor.
That'd be great.
We will see you back on February 28th, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Will that be in person or on Zoom, Judge?
I don't know. I'll tell you the week before.
Okay, Judge, just so the court knows, I do have settings in Del Rio that morning. So I don't know if you wanna how you wanna handle that because I have to be in Del Rio in Valverde County.
You know what time your court is there?
At 10 in Del Rio.
Oh, yeah, it's not likely you're going to make it here.
No, Judge. If not, I know you have that other jail docket. I saw the jail docket like the March 25th and the April 22nd. I don't know if you want to do the March 25th so it can ensure enough time for us to get those labs.
If I could just interject real quick, if we haven't gotten the labs back or, you know, that kind of stuff that she's waiting on, we can just agree to reset it as we get closer and put it to next month if you're okay with that.
It doesn't look like she's going to be able to attend on February 28th.
Okay.
Even if you do have the labs back. So
well,
let's just place it on the March 25th docket and then we'll go from there.
That sounds great.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Thank you. May I please be excused?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Means the jail has the wrong date because they walked away. After you changed it. When we get to the bottom of the page, we'll take a 5-minute break. Okay.
Judge, if I can briefly interrupt, everybody that we discussed having the waivers of arraignment were the last clients that I had on the docket. So with the court's permission, may I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Court will call cause number B21-141 and 142. The state of Texas versus Shay McCon for purposes of motion to proceed. What say the parties?
Judge, I've not conferred with Miguel at this point, so I'll pass it over to him and just see what he's feeling.
Your Honor, if we can have one more final hearing, I just made a last minute request to the DAs and it's my fault. So just in order for us to confer again, maybe we can have an agreement.
That sounds good to me, Your Honor.
Do you want to be on the February 18th or the March 25th contested docket?
The March will be best, Your Honor, so we can have plenty of time to work it out.
Okay. Let's reset for March 25th for contested hearing. And then if you end up reaching a plea agreement earlier, we can certainly move you up.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Looks like we're doing a month. Give me just a minute, Mr. Kerr.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'll do this one, Stephen.
Okay.
Ready, Paul? Court will call cause number B21-346, 347, 348, and 349 for purposes of admonishments and a plea. What say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Okay, the first document we need to go through, counsel, is the joint request for plea or sentencing by video conference. It purports to have each of the parties' signatures. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
Mr. Kerr, do you have any objection to proceeding today by video conference?
No, sir.
Thank you. Next document we need to go through, counsel, in each of these cases is the 3914 Discovery Disclosure and Compliance Form, each of which purports to have each of your signatures. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, has the state received all discovery from law enforcement in each of these cases and forwarded the same to the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
To the best of your knowledge, have you received all discovery in each of these cases?
We have.
Any objection to going through the admonishments together?
No, Your Honor.
No objection.
Mr. Kerr, I'm showing you one document, but in fact, there's four. There's one in each case. Each of them titled Defendant's Plea of Guilty, Waivers, and Admonishments. Did you have a chance to go through all four of those documents with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand all four of those documents?
Yes, sir, I did.
You understand that in each of the cases, you have the right to a trial by jury.
Yes, sir.
You understand in each of the cases, you have the right for your attorney to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call your own witnesses.
Yes, sir.
And do you understand in each of the cases, you have a right to appeal?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you understand that you're waiving all three of those rights in all four cases today?
Yes, sir, I do.
In addition to that, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent? Nobody can require you to testify against yourself, but you can in fact waive that right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Page 3 of each of these documents purports to have your signature in two locations. Is that your signature in both spots?
Yes, sir.
Your second signature on each document appears below a paragraph entitled Judicial Confessions and Stipulations. You understand that by signing that paragraph, it's just like you stood up here before the court, raised your hand and said, I did what the state's accused me of doing.
Yes, sir.
Attached to the back of each one of these documents is a copy of the grand jury indictment for each case, each of which purports to have your signature at the bottom. Do you recall signing all four of those indictments?
Yes, sir, I do.
And are you asking the court to accept as true and correct all four grand jury indictments?
Yes, please.
Do you feel like your client understands his rights, waivers, and admonishments in all four cases?
I do.
Give me just 1 second. I'm sorry. Cause number B21-346, you've been charged with aggravated robbery enhanced. As enhanced, this is a first-degree felony with a range of punishment of 5 to 99 years of life and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
B21-347, both count 1 and count 2. You've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon enhanced. Both count 1 and count 2 are first-degree felonies with a range of punishment of 5 to 99 years of life and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand the charge and the range of punishment in both count 1 and count 2?
Yes, sir.
As to count 1, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 2, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Cause number B21-348. You've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon enhanced. As enhanced, this is also a first-degree felony with a range of punishment of 5 to 99 years of life and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead?
Guilty, sir.
And lastly, B21-349. You've been charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. This is a third-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 10 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand this charge and this range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
In each of these cases, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In each of these cases, are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
And in each of these cases, we've already gone through the grand jury indictments on each one, but just to make the record clear, in each of these cases, there's an enhancement paragraph. Are you pleading true or not true to the enhancement paragraph in each of those indictments?
True.
Do you feel like your client's competent and capable of assisting you in preparation for trial?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Harpold?
Your Honor, I got,
Okay.
So as a part of the plea bargain agreement, Your Honor, and B21-346, well, it's all the same terms. So it's 10 years deferred adjudication probation, drug or alcohol treatment approved by the probation department. There's no early termination of probation. You complete the LTIP class, and then 265 days jail credit as a condition of his probation. Now there is a $5,000 fine in B21-346. And then as part of the agreement, the state has agreed to allow him out on PR bonds pending sentencing and reset sentencing to February the 18th so that we can prepare the judgments.
Mr. Rudkin, is that your understanding of each of those plea offers?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Kerr, is that your understanding of each of those plea offers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me just a moment, please. All these are rising on the same date, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct, per the indictments, yes.
All right, the court is going to reset sentencing for February 18th. No, the only problem with that, guys, if you're going to let him out on a PR bond, is that's a jail docket only.
Well,
Okay,
here's the
sentencing on,
Mr. Kerr has a blue warrant and a parole. So the chances of him being released between now and the 18th is slim, unless they withdraw the blue warrant and reinstate his parole. But he's not going anywhere anytime soon due to the blue warrant for the parole violation arising out of this.
What time's court on the 18th?
that's the 8 a.m. Friday docket.
Court's going to reset sentencing on each of these on February 18th at 8 a.m. Court will give you a PR bond pursuant to your agreement on each of these cases. You need to understand that if you bond out on a PR bond, you're expected to be on the second floor of the Kerr County Courthouse at 8 a.m. on February 18th. In the event that you get in trouble between now and then, or you don't show up on February 18th, please understand that you've already been admonished. You've already submitted a plea of guilty in each of these cases, and your plea agreements could very well be out the window, and you could be looking at open pleas.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you back on the 18th. Thank you.
Thank you.
A minute to make some docket entries. In just a minute. Thank you. Caleb Burns. Court will call cause number B19-845 and B21-741, State of Texas versus Caleb Burris Jr. Let's start out with B21-741 for purposes of arraignment. What say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Did you have an opportunity to go through the indictment with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Are the identifiers true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are to the best of our knowledge, Your Honor, and we're waiving the reading of the indictment and entering a plea of not guilty.
Thank you. Mr. Burris, the court will enter a scheduling order. Your next scheduled appearance before the court in this case will be February 28th at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about B19-845 for purposes of a motion to proceed. What say the parties?
Judge, I'm anticipating that based upon the new indictment there, we would like a reset to discuss the cases combined and see if we can work something out. But that's my understanding.
Your Honor, we have an agreed reset on file that was signed January 18th to set this for February 23rd.
Okay, we will see you back February 23rd for contested hearing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Burris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. After we do Mazumi, we're going to take a 5-minute break. So if you're not on Mazumi and you want to peel off early, you certainly can. We'll call cause number B21-205, the state of Texas versus Manuel Mazumi. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
None from us, Your Honor, at this time, but I will advise the court there are 2 new cases, one out of this court that has a pretrial, first pretrial set February 28, then an A case that's the 2/16.
Thank you. All right, the court will set a 2801 hearing on February 28th. And we will see everybody back then, and hopefully we'll have all the info on the 2 new cases.
Sounds good.
We have a scheduling order on the new case out of this court, so.
Mr. Rudkin, I think your client's trying to get your attention.
Yes, pardon me. I'm here trying to ask for a PR bond in some of this stuff. I am currently out on bond on the issues of this court date, I believe, that we're pertaining to at this moment. And there was a accused assault back in October of 24th that I am here in jail on. And I just saw Kurt Rudkin, been about 90 days since I seen him, maybe a little, maybe almost 100.
I saw you Friday.
Yeah, no, 28th, 24th. Yeah, I know, but it's been about 90 days since I seen you.
Why don't you and I discuss this attorney to client? Okay?
I just wanted to get, I'm trying to get, I'm in here on a misdemeanor assault and then everything. I'm trying to get PR bonded out on it if I can, if there's any way. I haven't even been indicted on it.
If you have a misdemeanor assault, that's not in this court, that's in a different court.
Oh, okay. And then the evading arrest that is in this, that's coming up is, I don't know what that is. Mr. Rudkin's
Okay, wait and talk to your attorney, okay? We'll see you back.
It's frustrating. I'm sorry, sir. I apologize.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break.
All right.
Hey, it's under TV room.
Ted, come in.
He's at the bottom of his page. Are you, is he still up there in that point, or two? He's down the side. Derek's down the side. Brown's right here. Yeah, those two. We're him directly at the side.
Hey Rex, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Phil Hart?
Good.
Miguel, are you covering this one? Everybody's PDO's office. It has been fun. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's call it. Court will call cause number B21-582, the state of Texas versus Jeffrey Philhart. For purposes of pretrial, would say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
We have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
No, Your Honor. We just requested another pretrial setting. I just talked to my defendant, and I'm going to talk to the DAs pretty soon.
Okay, your next scheduled hearing is February 28th for a 2801 hearing. So we'll see everybody back then.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Stephen, while we're waiting, what is Mr. Yo's trying to mandamus the clerk's office and the court on, do you know?
I've drawn a blank, but I read that earlier today. I believe.
That's all right. It's just curiosity. I haven't seen the mandamus. I just received notice that it was filed.
Yeah, I
was
looked
kind of
over
curious
it.
to know what he was complaining about.
It's okay. I remember it now. It is, he had a blue warrant over some like minor in possession, or some like class C or something like that. So he gets yanked on a blue warrant, and then he's been in custody on a blue warrant without a hearing.
Oh, that's not us.
I know.
Got the
And
wrong agency.
So if that's the one I'm thinking of, then that's what it was. And so I just kind of went, well, okay. So I don't know, that's what I think Yo's is.
Okay.
Is that the one that was filed by Danford? Danford
I
Assistant?
couldn't tell you. I just had a third court of appeals notice where it got transferred with them.
Yeah. I think that's the one.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you, Mr. Montez?
Sorry, he's going to require an interpreter.
I can interpret, Your Honor, if you would like to.
That would be awesome if you don't mind. Thank you, Miguel.
Yes, Your Honor, you're welcome.
Let me make a note on here because I don't have that marked on any of the others.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give me 1 second. Court will call cause number B21-595, 596, and 597. The state of Texas versus Jamie Montez. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Mr. Serrano, will you please explain to him what we're doing?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Montes, soy yo, Miguel Serrano, su abogado. Ok, ¿se me ve? Ok, lo que vamos a hacer ahorita, voy a pedirle a la juez al juez que nos dé otra cita para venir a la corte otra vez, como lo habíamos hablado antes. Ok? Yes, Your Honor, he understands.
Okay. I think we were originally set for 2801, but is this our first pretrial? January 3rd? Okay.
Yes.
All right, then for purposes of a 2801, what say the parties?
State's ready.
We're ready, Your Honor.
We have any announcements or motions, counsel?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from us, Your Honor. We're pretty close to an agreement. I just need to talk to the DA.
All right, then let's reset for February 28th. And we'll see everybody back then.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Serrano, do you want to tell your client that?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Thank
Mr. Montes, y lo que vamos a hacer, vamos a regresar en febrero 28 del 2022. ¿Ok? Voy a ir a hablar con usted otra vez y voy a hablar con el fiscal también para comunicarle lo que usted me pidió que le comunicara. ¿Ok?
Entiendo.
He said, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Come on.
All right, Sarah, you're going to be up next.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Judge, did you see the opinion came down on Noel Parks?
I did.
Okay.
Made me smile.
There you go.
That whole argument didn't make any sense to start with.
I totally agree.
Court will call cause number B20-302, the state of Texas versus Jacob Overgaard. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
We have any pretrial issues?
None from the state.
Not at this time, Your Honor. I know that we're going to need another pretrial setting from my consultation with Mr. Neal on this case, but that's all I really know for today, Your Honor.
Let's do this then. Let's set it for February 28th, and then on that day, we can figure out where we need to go from there.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Overcard.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank
may I be excused, Your Honor?
Absolutely. Thank you for covering.
Thank you, Judge.
Gotta be professional in court, except for when I use people's first name like you're not supposed to. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the advantage of practicing in a small real country environment. You can come fight like crazy in court and then go eat lunch together. Court will call cause number B21-614, State of Texas versus Joseph Alias. For purposes of a 2801, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
Do we have any announcements or motions, counsel?
None from the state.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, our next scheduled pretrial is February 28th. We'll see everybody back then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No. Yeah.
Judge, may I ask Mr. Harpold a question real quick?
I don't know. You better ask Mr. Harpold that.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you. Wait, I think that's my client right there. Never mind.
Court will call cause number B18-882 and 883, the State of Texas versus John Ellis. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready. We have an agreement. We're set for Friday to plea those cases.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ellis, we will see you back bright and early Friday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you much. Talk to you Friday.
All right.
Judge, that's all I've got on the docket. May I be excused to go about my day?
Absolutely. Thank you, David.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
For their SDG.
Plea, you're up next. If you can hear me.
I can, Your Honor.
There you go. How are you?
I'm fine, Judge.
Court will call cause number B21-757 and 758, State of Texas versus Isaac Eckstein. Eckstein, which way?
Eckstein, sir. Eckstein. Yes,
Okay,
Your Honor.
thank you. For purposes of arraignment, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Bench is ready, Your Honor.
Have you had an opportunity to go through the indictments with your client?
I have, Your Honor. I met my client out at the jail and we went over the contents of the indictments.
Are the personal identifiers true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor, they are.
Does your client wish to have either indictment read in open court?
No, Your Honor. We'll waive formal reading of the indictment and enter a plea of not guilty.
Thank you. Court will enter a scheduling order in each case. Your next scheduled appearance before the court will be February 28th at 8:30. If you're out on bond, if you're not, then we'll see you in the afternoon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, I was just gonna, Judge, we have we had actually 2 motions to reduce bond that were filed. They were filed back on January 3rd, but I'm assuming since he was just set for arraignment, we just asked that those be set on February 28th.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll follow up with you guys.
See you back then.
All right,
Thank
can
you.
Excuse, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Daniel, how are you?
Doing great, Judge. Thank you.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
I can.
I would like to confer with counsel before we continue with this proceeding.
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine. If that's okay with you.
It's fine, except it shuts down my whole court proceeding because I have to put you in a breakout. Okay, hang on. It's trying to populate. Cool. Yeah, the Hawks were really cool because that was such a small venue. Like Kelly and Carrie and my 2 granddaughters and Laura and Evelyn, Garrett's little girl, sat in Kelly's lap, sat right on that front row. And I mean, the birds were flying closer than me to you, right in front of them. Oh yeah. They said she was, Evelyn was just grinning, laughing, you know. Yeah.
I'm back, Your Honor. He should be coming right back.
Anyway, that was cool. See, Casey did that before she got it. She was, man, I bet she was jumping 20, 25 feet in the air. Yeah. because she went for it. So that girl cranked back on those bungee cords where they were tight and was just shooting her up there.
Really?
Yeah.
You have one more quickly.
They should be back.
We lost the jail.
Oh, they're coming back.
There we
I see
go.
them.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, for purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
Thanks,
Ready,
Ready.
call it.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sorry. I was just told I didn't actually call the cause numbers. Court will call cause number B21, 136, 137, 138, 139, and 140. The state of Texas versus Charles Brown. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is ready.
We have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
The only one that I have, Your Honor, is we are requesting to go ahead and get put on the trial track on this case and have a date for trial set.
How far out do you want it to be?
Hopefully by spring, before spring. Maybe April.
I don't know off the top of my head. Do we have anything special set in April? Stephen, do you know?
I'm not recalling anything that comes to mind right now, Judge.
Do you want another pretrial before the pretrial, the day before trial?
Please. Pre-trial, then trial the next day. Yes, please.
Let's set pretrial on February 28th and then April 4th and trial April 5th.
So February 28th, April 4, and April 5th for trial.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're more than welcome. And hopefully we'll be open by then.
Right. All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. You
Thanks.
too. Give me just one more second, please.
Yes, sir.
Court will call cause number B21-237, the state of Texas versus Patrick Patton. For purposes of pretrial, let's say the parties.
State's ready.
Defense is not ready, Your Honor. We are waiting on an examination from Dr. Wood.
Has he performed the exam yet? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge. I can reach out to him and see what the status is.
Yeah, it looks like he was supposed to perform it on or before December 10th. If you don't mind, will you do that, please? And let's put him on the February 18th docket for a follow-up to try to figure out what's going on with that.
I'll do that, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have anything else?
Nothing from the state.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Patton.
Well, sir.
Sorry. That fell through somewhere because he's always really prompt. Okay. Something's up with that, yeah. Court will call cause number B19-891 and B2128, the state of Texas versus William Ridley. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
This is ready, Your Honor.
We have any pretrial issues, counsel?
None from the state.
None from the defense at this time, Your Honor.
Give me 1 second. All right, it looks like our next scheduled appearance is February 28th for a 2801 hearing. So we'll see everybody back then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let me ask a quick question before we pass this case. Have we received the lab results?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and that was the last thing I had on the docket, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
See you,
Thank
Brett.
you. Ms. West, are you feeling better?
It was my daughter.
Your daughter, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's even more scary because it's hard when
Yeah.
it's your kids.
Yeah. Well, you know, she has cancer. So like all things are a big deal. I mean, you
Right.
know, even if you have like a cold that really wouldn't affect, you know, normal kids, for her, you know, it puts her in the hospital and all that kind of stuff. So, but we're halfway through our treatment. So it's really great news.
Good.
Yeah.
The last note I have in the file is that we needed a new trial date. Have you and Stephen talked about that, or?
We haven't talked about a new date. Do you have a preference, Mr. Harpold?
No, it looks like it's April, May at this point.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a that far out, Judge. I don't have a preference.
When do you want to set it, Stephen?
How about the May 2nd pretrial, May 4th, May 3rd trial?
So pre-trial is 5/2 and trial is 5/3.
I believe so.
Okay.
And will you need another pretrial before May 2nd?
I don't think so. There are like, you know, very, you know, sort of omnibus pretrial motions and things like that I filed. I don't think that there's anything extra special about them. So I don't know that we would need to have a hearing like well in advance of trial. So I think I would be fine with the pretrial being the day before trial. I mean, obviously I'm going to continue to talk to Mr. Harpold to see if there's something else that can happen, but.
Well, and if something comes up that you feel like you need a hearing, you just let us know and we'll get the next date.
Right. And I'm happy to do that, Judge.
Okay.
Court will call cause number B20-177, state of Texas versus Troy Deese. For purposes of pretrial, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
And we had a brief before we went on the record conversation about issues in this case. Do we have any pretrial issues other than the fact that we need a new trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Not beyond what we just talked about.
Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and build in an extra pretrial, and then if you don't need it, you can pass it. That way you're covered, okay?
Okay.
Let's set a pretrial on April 4th and then May 2nd, and then we'll set it for trial on May 3rd.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dees.
Thanks, Mr. Dees. Stephen, I will just reach out. I'll shoot you an email.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Thanks, and glad to hear that your daughter's doing better.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Your Honor, may I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
216th case. Okay. Yeah, they haven't tried to sign on yet. Well, that's Moto G Play, whoever that is. Maybe that's that.
Judge, if I can, while we're just sitting here also.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are, but I think we're getting close to the last one, Jerry Gardner.
Yes.
Okay, well, when we get to there, I think all that needs to be done is you reviewed her letter to the defendant and blacked out some things, but we needed the order signed allowing the state to examine the defendant. And that's something that's in the file, I guess.
Okay, I guess I missed that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I meant to bring it up last time, and then I think the last setting was canceled, and so it just went off the radar, so.
Court will call cause number B21-593, the state of Texas versus Cody Watson, for purposes of a 28. Do we have a pretrial on January 3rd in this case? Sorry, bear with me just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For purposes of a 2801 hearing, what say the parties?
State's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Do we have any announcements or motions?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like our next scheduled appearance before the court is February 28th. So we'll see everybody back then. Thank you.
Is that for trial, Your Honor? I'm sorry, I'm standing for Miss Tracy that year. That's fine.
That is for pretrial, and then it looks like trial's the next day.
Well, she just asked me to do the pre-trial, Your Honor. I'll let her know.
So, yeah.
I'll help her out if she needs any help.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
We all require Mr. Gardner, Judge?
I believe so, don't we, Cheryl?
We don't have anything, Your Honor. We're basically kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for the state's examination to be done.
Can I see that file real quick?
Judge, the title on it is the proposed order is the agreed order granting state's motion to require defendant to submit to evaluation by state's expert.
There it is. Very last file I looked in.
And just for Cheryl's benefit, I mean, my understanding with regard to this order is that we're on number 8 on the top of the second page, the letter from Cheryl Cioni, attorney at law, that was referenced in her expert's report. And then that's the letter that you redacted, Judge. So it would just be that letter being redacted that we would have.
Is that your understanding, Cheryl?
Yes, Your Honor. We were in agreement with the remainder of the order. It was that one letter, and you reviewed it, and my understanding is redacted some parts of it, and
Okay.
that was the only thing that we had an issue with.
All right, for purposes of the record, we're discussing cause number B-2367, 423, 424, and 425, the state of Texas versus Jerry Gardner. And at this time, the court will sign the order granting the state's motion to require the defendant to submit to an evaluation, with the understanding that number 8 consists of the one-page redacted letter that the court's previously reviewed. What else do we have to do? Go ahead.
Cheryl, I'm sorry, and Cheryl, to that end, that's a lot of that stuff's in your possession. So if you could send that over to me ASAP, that would be great.
Yes, I'll get that together. I think it was mostly the offense reports and the videos that we got from you, but I will certainly get
Yeah, and that stuff you don't need to send me. It just would be the stuff that I think, like the medical records, or I'll tell you what, I'll send you a quick email that highlights what I think is just that stuff. Okay.
Okay. We'll get it taken care of. Absolutely.
Okay, do y'all want to come back on February 28th or April 4th?
I don't see that. It's Dr. Woods, so I don't see that he would have that ready between now and February 28th. So the latter date would work fine with me.
You're muted, unfortunately.
Sorry about that. I'd like to keep it moving, but I am kind of in agreement with Mr. Herpel that I don't see him getting it done that quickly.
If he does, I'll let you know, and Judge, we can ask for a sooner date.
Perfect. And in the event he doesn't, let's set it for April 4th.
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting on the doctor.
Right, exactly.
Judge, may I be excused? I'm
Absolutely. Thank
a
you
little
very
late to
much.
pick up my kiddo. Thanks.
You bet. Is that a wrap?
I believe that's it.
I think so. Can the jail be excused?
Well, is that the same Zoom number for the 216?
Kerr. Yeah, Kerr.
I think y'all have one more person on the 216th that's supposed to plea. Who is it?
I think that one got reset, Your Honor.
Elizabeth Evans. I know they reset 2 of the others.
Oh, okay. I'll check with Sharon real quick. Hold on a second.
Judge, let me double check because I have the other TV up and going just for that accommodation. So let me see if she's already on talking to the 216th.
Okay, thank you.
Hang on.
Well, I don't know.
Was it in person?
It depends on when it was set up, what I did. But I don't have any way to check that without closing out of this.
Okay, here's Miss Evans.
Okay. Stephen, are y'all doing that or is it 216?
No, I believe it's 216th. I'll run next door real quick and check. Okay. I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Judge, if anybody says anything, we do have the other TV set up, so.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Give us just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Ms. Evans, give us just a few minutes to figure out who's on first.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hurry on.
Hmm. That fell out of the Mr. Burgers. This is Ms. Evans stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, the order has a whole bunch of things in it. So I think it won't hurt anything to attach it. How's that? Yeah, it won't hurt anything. Yeah.
Okay, John is signing on right now, and that's supposed to be a plea.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, go in there and holler, Christine. Have Christine calling.
Korea.
When did the new order go in? Yeah, this should have the new bill. Not the old stuff. Second degree. Let's see the other one. Mhm. No, that, yeah. Flat fees would be about 4.
So we don't, because we are running fees on them for PDO. We don't do it.
There's Kurt. Now, if we can just get John, we'll be good.
Yeah, I logged on at 3:55, so I don't know what the deal was. I'll text him, say, remember me?
They said that he had the Zoom number, so.
It's the same Zoom number from earlier today.
Right.
It's on their docket.
Are you texting it to him?
I will do that right now.
Okay. Hey, Kurt, is this plea for probation or pen time?
Pen time.
Okay.
4 years with jail credit.
Probation was just asking me. I'm not trying to get into y'all's stuff.
Okay. Well, I threw it in the trash.
Okay.
You told her.
Here, I'm sending it to him right now.
Okay.
There he is.
There he is.
There we go. Can you hear us, John?
Yes, Judge, being a little late, I apologize. It's been one of those days.
Oh, no, I understand perfectly. It's been a cluster on this end from the very beginning.
I think everybody's had one of those days.
You ready, Paul? Court will call cause number 820-245 and 821-403, State of Texas versus Elizabeth Evans for purposes of agreed pleas. What say the parties?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
First document we need to go through in each case is the joint request for plea or sentencing by video conference, which purports to have each of the parties' signatures. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Evans, do you have any objection to proceeding today by video conference?
No, Your Honor.
Next document we need to go through, counsel, is the 3914 Discovery Disclosure and Compliance Form, which purports to have each of your signatures. To the best of your knowledge, has the state received all discovery from law enforcement and forwarded the same to the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
To the best of your knowledge, have you received all discovery on both cases?
I have.
Any objection to going through the admonishments together?
No, sir.
No objection.
Ms. Evans, I'm showing you a document that's going to be entitled Defendant's Plea of Guilt, Waivers, Stipulations of Evidence, and Admonishments. There's one in each case. Did you have an opportunity to go through both of those documents with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand both of those documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand in each case you have a right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Do you understand in each case you have the right for your attorney to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call your own witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand in each case you have a right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you're waiving all three of those rights in both cases today?
Yes, Your Honor.
In addition to that, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent? Nobody can require you to testify against yourself, but you can in fact waive that right.
Yes, Your Honor.
As I look at both of these documents, each page of each of these documents purports to have your signature. Do you recall going through and signing each page of each of these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3, paragraph 10 of each document, there's a paragraph entitled Stipulation of Evidence. And right underneath that stipulation, it purports to have.
Yes, it is. Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that by signing that paragraph on each document, it's just like you stood up here before the court, raised your hand and said, I did what the state's accused me of doing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Attached to the back of each one of these documents is a copy of the grand jury indictment. Each of these indictments purports to have your signature in the corner. Do you recall signing both indictments?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you asking the court to accept as true and correct both grand jury indictments?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you feel like your client understands their rights, waivers, and admonishments in both cases?
I do.
Ms. Evans, in A-2245, you've been charged with possession of a controlled substance, to wit methamphetamine, in an amount of 4 grams or more, but less than 200 grams. This is a second-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 20 years incarceration and up to $10,000 fine. Do you understand that charge and that range of punishment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
In A21-403, you've been charged with possession of a controlled substance, to wit methamphetamine in an amount of 4 grams or more, but less than 200 grams. This is also a second-degree felony with a range of punishment of 2 to 20 years incarceration and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand that charge and that range of punishment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead in that case?
Guilty.
In each of these cases, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of these cases, are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Do you feel like your client's competent and capable of assisting you in preparation for trial in both cases?
I do.
Are there plea agreements in both cases?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. In exchange for plea of guilt, the terms of our agreement is that she will be sentenced to 4 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. Both cases will run concurrent, and she'll get any credit for time she's served.
Mr. Rudkin, is that your understanding of both plea agreements?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Evans, is that your understanding of both plea agreements?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that plea agreements are agreements between you and the state? They're not binding on the court, but if the court did not accept either one of these, you would have the opportunity to withdraw your pleas of guilty, enter pleas of not guilty, and proceed to trial.
I understand, Your Honor.
And are you asking the court to follow both plea agreements?
Yes, Your Honor.
In B-2245 and B-21-403, in each of those cases, the court will find evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to enter a finding of guilt. In each of those cases, will order you confined in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice State Jail Division for a period of 4 years concurrent with each other. You have reimbursement fees in A-2245 in the amount of $90, court cost in the amount of $290, attorney's fees in the amount of $825 for both cases, and restitution in the amount of $180. You have jail credit in the amount of 270 days. In A-21-403, your fees are significantly less in that you have reimbursement fees in the amount of $85, court cost in the amount of $290, and you have jail credit in the amount of 265 days. Do you have any questions on either one of these judgments?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions at all, Ms. Evans?
No, Your Honor. I'm not sure how I'm going to pay everything, but I'll figure something out. Thank you.
Okay. Once you get released, can you work out a payment plan?
Possibly. I'm on SSI and am not going to have anything when I get out. I've lost everything. So I will do my best.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Judge, on the judgments, do they say institutional division or state jail?
TDCJ. Did I say state jail?
You did, but I just wanted to make sure it was correct on the judgment.
No, it is correct. It's Texas Department of Criminal Justice on both of them. I apologize for that.
Okay, just making sure. Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judge. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Later.
Thanks for catching that, Stephen, by the way.
Yes, sir.
It's been, like I said, been one of those days. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, for all of us.